Hey everyone, my name is Aaron Rift, and this video is about my top 10 favorite lesser known slash underrated songs from the Beatles. I consider the Beatles to be my all-time favorite band, and it's easy to list all the classic Beatles songs. I figured it would be more interesting to discuss some of the band's hidden gems and talk about songs that are not quite as well known or acclaimed. I would not consider myself to be a music expert. I'm just a guy that is merely giving my opinion with this list of 10 songs that I personally really enjoy. And by the way, these songs will be listed in chronological order. Here we go. Number 1, I'll Follow the Sun. Even though this is one of the most popular tracks from the Beatles for Sale album, I look at it as a big fish in a small pond since Beatles for Sale is one of the lesser known albums from the group. This was one of the earliest songs written by Paul McCartney around 1959, just as the band was starting to develop. The song is very short, at just under 2 minutes, and it does have one of the worst solos in Beatles history, but that's part of the charm of the song. And I think the melody of this song is fantastic, and I feel it was one of Paul's best early songs that seems to be overshadowed by other songs around that time, such as Yesterday, for example. John Lennon himself was quoted as saying that this song was a nice one, and I agree. Number 2, Think for Yourself. I definitely wanted to include a George Harrison song on this list, and I went with this track from Rubber Soul. To me, it's the first George Harrison song that really stood out. The lyrics are deeper and more philosophical than the typical love songs of the Beatlemania era. One lyric in particular I like: "The future still looks good, and you've got time to rectify all the things that you should." I also love the sound of Paul McCartney's distorted bass, the fuzz bass, and I also enjoyed Ringo's drumming in this song. Very solid song overall, one of my favorite tracks from Rubber Soul, actually. Number 3, Run for Your Life. This is the final track on Rubber Soul and was one of the first songs recorded for the album. John Lennon reportedly was not a fan of this song and considered it a throwaway, mentioning that he got some of the lyrics from an old song that Elvis Presley recorded. However, Lennon did say that it was a favorite of George Harrison's, and it's also a favorite of mine. The thing I really like about this song is that it's one of the happiest sounding songs I've ever heard about a guy threatening to murder a woman. I find the lyrics to this song to be absolutely fascinating. Number 4, For No One. John Lennon was quoted as saying this song was another of his that I really liked. This is one of my favorite songs from Revolver, and that's really saying a lot because there are so many quality songs on this album. In my opinion, it's just a beautiful song with truly poetic lyrics, and I like everything about it. I like the somber tone and the vocal performance by Paul, and of course, the very memorable French horn solo. Number 5, She Said, She Said. This was the final track recorded for the Revolver album. This song is about tripping on acid, not a whole lot to it, but I love the guitar playing on this track, and even more so, I love Ringo's drumming on this song. I feel it's one of the best drumming performances by Ringo on any Beatles album. A lot of people think of Strawberry Fields and they think of other songs, but this song has some awesome drumming in it. Just a really fun track on Revolver. Definitely, in my opinion, the most underrated track on the album. Number 6, Hey Bulldog. This song was recorded in early 1968 and was part of the Yellow Submarine album. I think it was recorded because they needed an extra song and they already had the piano there from Lady Madonna, so they decided to work that into the song and they came up with Hey Bulldog, which was originally called Hey Bullfrog, but I guess Paul McCartney started barking like a dog at the end and they changed the name of the song. It's often forgotten about in history, which is a shame because I think it's one of the best Beatles songs, period. Not just an underrated song, but just an overall cool sounding song. I like the lyrics, I like the vocals, I like everything about it, including the bass line from Paul, which I think is really sick. And the piano riff is awesome. One of the best piano riffs of any Beatles songs. I mean, just awesome stuff. Number 7, Sexy Sadie. This song was written by John Lennon about the Maharishi, and he was not a big fan of the Maharishi, and this song was his way of telling that to the world. It's interesting because I went online and read a lot of people's interpretations about what the lyrics mean in this song. That's one of the cool things about many of the Beatles songs, that people can interpret the songs in different ways. I just really enjoy the music. I find the piano part to be very memorable, and the lyrics too. The lyrics really stand out, and it appears that I'm not the only one that feels so. The band Radiohead had a popular song in the 90s called Karma Police, and the piano part is very similar to the one in Sexy Sadie. And then more recently, the band Jet had a song called Look What You've Done, and they directly used lyrics from Sexy Sadie. Number 8, Glass Onion. The thing I find awesome about this song is that it's John Lennon's response to people that are always looking for hidden meanings in Beatles songs. It's one of the few Beatles songs that makes references to other Beatles songs. I believe there are at least 5 other songs that are referenced. One line in particular I like is when he says, "The walrus was Paul," since a walrus was longly associated as a symbol of death with ancient cultures, and that was a response to all of the hysteria going on at the time about Paul being dead. And even at the end of the song, John says something that sounds like Paul is dead, miss him, miss him. I just think this is a very entertaining song. Number 9, just kidding. It's not Revolution number 9. Number 9 is Yer Blues. Like Sexy Sadie, this was another song by John Lennon about his experience in India doing the meditation with the Maharishi. Ringo Starr said this song was like grunge rock of the 60s. I think it's a really cool sounding track and a nice change of pace for the band. One of the cool things about the White Album in general is that you got a variety of different musical styles. There's also a version of this song that Lennon performed with Eric Clapton and Keith Richards that I somehow only found out existed as I was doing the research for this video. Last thing I wanted to add, I love the trippy guitar solos towards the end. I feel like I need to have an acid trip myself while listening to that. And finally, number 10, Maxwell's Silver Hammer. I might get some hate for this one. I did not like the song the first time I heard it, and from what I've read, a lot of people do not like this song, and the 3 other Beatles apparently did not like this song. One of the reasons being that it apparently took a very long time to record. After listening to it several times, it really started to grow on me. I find it to be fun and goofy, yet disturbing at the same time. Very violent song, actually. Like Run for Your Life, it's another song that sounds very happy with the music, but then you have the lyrics talking about people being killed with a hammer. I like the synthesizer solo. I like the anvil sound effects, and even one part where Paul starts laughing while he's doing the verse. I find it to be a very unique song on Abbey Road. All right, that'll do it for my thoughts on my top 10 lesser known / underrated Beatles songs. Let me know what you thought about the video, your reaction, what you agree with, what you disagree with. Let me know what some of your favorite lesser known / underrated Beatles songs are. Leave a comment. I found this video very fun to do because I love the Beatles, and it's actually more of a challenge to come up with bad Beatles songs. Why don't we do it in the road? But there are so many great Beatles songs, and to come up with 10 that I felt were not as well known or perhaps not as critically acclaimed, That was a little bit of a challenge. I did have a lot of fun doing the video though. If you enjoyed the video, please share it on social media. Tell a friend. If you would like, you can add me on Facebook at Aaron Rift. You can also follow me on Twitter at Aaron Rift, or you could check out my Instagram account at Aaron Rift. That'll do it. Thank you guys very much for watching.